I think, first of all, I've always been a nerd since a kid. I started coding when I was as a teenager, and I always been super like into tech and stuff. And at some point, when I was working traditional advertising, I said that what I definitely want to do is exactly combining this technology and storytelling together and be able to do this. And I think AI allows us nowadays to really put this together in a more affordable, of course, way, but also that we have the chance to test and experiment much more, that in a way that it's feasible and it's, you can still do it with the budgets that we have. But I think, for example, AI, and it's actually part of my talk today. It's not about just the budget part, it's really about the experimenting. So I think what AI allows me is really to experiment and try and tell the stories or bring out there what is inside this head easier to the world, which sometimes would take much more time and much more effort to do so. I think what AI is going to bring is a division. And I think of course, in the beginning, everyone gets super excited. Let's do everything with AI, and I think it's the solution for everything. I believe that overall in the world, there is not one size fits all of anything, and AI is not the one size fits all for all the challenges that we might have in communication. So I think that slowly AI is going to find its place when it comes to which kind of content we'll be producing, and also which kind of advertising or stories we'll be telling, and trying to find its unique place that would live along with traditional live action or animation itself, or even stop motion animations. I was talking to some friends who run animation studios, and they said there is a surge on stop motion animation right now. So I think it's very important that, of course, we get to understand the technology and we get to use it and experiment as much as we can. But I think it's going to also find its place. And about the emotional part, I think AI can definitely bring emotion, because if the stories, the important thing will be the stories. And if the stories are emotional, we definitely can bring that through. But of course, there is cases that if you really want to squeeze the maximum of emotional, I still believe that there is nothing more realistic than the human emotions. I think these two worlds can coexist and live together in a perfect world. Not really, because I think, and this actually, I was really happy to see that I was not the only one talking about it today. I believe that when you come from a concept or from a meaning, when you come from the story, you can pair it perfectly with the visuals. So the visuals, what I try to say with this is like the visuals itself alone, it's important, it's nice, but it's not complete. But also the same thing as the story, the concept alone, it's not complete. So when you bring these two together, then you have real stories that can communicate and connect with the audiences in the different parts of the world.
Only when these two parts combine together.
This is the best way. I have the feeling when you don't have one of these, there's kind of missing something, right? You kind of, oh yeah, it's beautiful, but what can I get from it? Or it's, oh yeah, I understand the story, but I would love to have like something visually pleasing. And even when I started directing, before start playing with AI, there was my proposal, because I've seen this happening before, one of these two things missing, and my proposal was exactly to combine these two worlds and try to enhance myself in these two sides. I definitely would start with the mindset. I think the mindset of being creative, being a creative person, being open, open for new things and open to learn new things into the world and different ways of doing things and for different cultures and different people. I think openness is the main thing. It's the main thing as a creative. And the rest, as I said, I think these are tools. They are important tools, and they are game changers. But they are tools, and they come and go, and they're gonna come and go even faster, or they're gonna change faster. The AI we have today is completely different from the AI we had 3 years ago. It's getting somehow easier and more structured to use. So, and I think it's gonna be evolving and developing. So I think the openness is probably the most important skill to have right now. I mean, it's definitely a big change of everything. I have the feeling everyone is a bit dizzy trying to figure out where's it going to, what's going to be the direction it's taking. I think in one hand it's democratizing a lot of the creativity worldwide. On the other hand, as we saw some people speaking about it today, we are creating way too much content that it's not necessarily useful for, and you have to be aware of that. I mean, I maybe throw something here. I think at some point we should find a way to measure the amount of content you put out there and kind of even tax it already probably, so we kind of have a control of how much you put in this out there. So I think AI is trying to, it's redefining the whole game, and it's right now is like a blank canvas that we all trying to draw it. And I think there is also some important aspects that we'll talk, people talked about it today, which is to find it an ethical way of doing it, right? I think it's super important that we also keep this in mind to do it all in an ethical way, thinking ahead, trying to think ahead. And I think AI can even help us to think ahead of possible troubles that we might get. And there is one word that I say is, it's not because you can do everything that you will do everything. It's not because you can do that you will do it. So we have to be very careful when we choose what we want to do with AI.
AI is a tool, and the creator has to control it.
Yeah, we have to control it, and we think, yeah, I think it gives many possibilities, but also a lot of responsibilities. I think it's super important.